Welcome. I am Mr. Clock, the creator of the Arma 3 Object Builder add-on for Blender. In this video, I would like to talk about the common item lists or common data lists and how to add custom items to them. You might have run into some of the input fields, for example in materials, proxy settings, where next to the input field you see a paste icon. If we click this icon, we can see that it actually brings up a list of items. For example, in materials, this will bring up this list. And if you click OK, it pastes a path here. These lists are internally called common item lists or common data lists. And they allow us to paste frequently used file paths, for example, frequently used values into fields which we either use too frequently and don't want to waste time, or we just don't want to memorize. But because this is baked into the add-on, what if we want something else here? What if we have a project that requires us to use something else that is not included in the add-on by default? Well, the custom data JSON for the add-on was created just for this purpose. If you look at the documentation, which is the custom data JSON documentation, it says that we can set a path to a JSON formatted file in the add-on preferences that will add items to these lists, and here I listed all the supported types, what kind of data we can specify here, but I will quickly go through most of the ones that we can use. So probably the more frequently used one is for materials. We can see this paste common material. So this will be visual materials, and we can also, if we open this, set this to penetration. It also has a bunch of penetration materials that are frequently used. We can paste values from here. We can also see that if we hover over the item, it shows the assigned path in the top row of the pop-up. Then in the same material section we have a very similar thing for custom texture sources. In this case the add-on includes a picture-in-picture procedural definition, which is also more frequently used than vehicles. Then the next part, which is frequently used, is for proxy paths. If you open up the proxy properties, you can see the same icon here. And you can see that I included a bunch of the usual vehicle proxies, weapon slot proxies that I could think of. Now, if you have an idea that you think should be included in the add-on by default and it is currently not, there is actually an open issue on GitHub which will remain open, where you can post ideas into these categories that you think would be a good fit for the add-on. And then the last mainly used part here is the named properties. Same icon here, we can paste most of the frequently used ones. So for example, auto center for geometries. Okay, so what if we want to add custom items here? What if I wanted to add a proxy path to a specific muzzle flash that I want to use frequently? This is where we can look at the documentation and see that we can create this JSON file. So I already went ahead and created an empty JSON, and I will link this in the add-on properties in the paths section, custom data, and I will go to the P drive and link this JSON here. And now let's say that I want to add a new proxy to this list that I use frequently. So I will go here and add the new key, which will be proxies, and open a new object in it. And in here, the key will be the name that is shown for the proxy, and the value in the key value pairs. The value will be the path that it should paste. So for example, I will say muzzle flash MX. This will be the name that will be shown, and then I will have to look up actually the muzzle flash path for the MX rifle. So I will go ahead and data F proxies muzzle flash, and I will look for something that seems to be the MX1. Alright, so let's settle for this one. I will copy the path from this file and I will paste it here. Now, a very quick reminder that the JSON format does not support backslashes. If you want to use backslashes, you have to double them to escape them. So it's best to actually go ahead and replace all the backslashes with a forward slash, which will be still a valid path, and it will be a valid JSON as well. So then, next time when we want to paste an item here, we can see that our new item appeared here, and if we paste it, we can see that it pasted the path we wanted. So this way we can add muzzle flashes, we can add materials. So materials would be in the materials section of the object, so this is what we can post down below. And then this is the same, so the material name would be material 1. And then here would be the path of the file. And we can also add multiple ones if we want, obviously. And then materials penetration would be for penetration materials. Oops. I keep mistyping. Then the next one is for the procedural textures, and if we look at the documentation, we can actually see the names here. So procedurals would be, for example, like the picture-in-picture, and so on. So every time here the key is the name that is shown, except for the named properties, and the value is the path to be pasted. For the named properties, the name is the name of the named property, and the value is the value of the named property. So for example, if the named props, for example, if the auto center, if you also want to add the auto center 1, which will not work because it's the same name, but if you wanted to, if auto center 0 was not part of the default included items, we could do auto center and then 0 here, and this would add it to the name properties. For different projects, you can also obviously create different JSON files with different items. For example, if you do some modern military mode, you might have a bunch of proxies for modern military muzzle flashes. If you are working on some sci-fi mode, you might have some special items for that, and you can switch between them here in the add-on settings. I hope you will find this extension method useful. If you have any ideas, improvements, run into any issues, or you have an item that you think should be included by default in the add-on, you can create or post on the GitHub page. Thank you.